The rain hits the pavement like bullets. Amara's hands are shaking as she presses them against the wound on the stranger's chest. Blood seeps through her fingers, warm and unstoppable. Around her, the Seoul street market erupts in chaos. Vendors screaming, people running, sirens wailing in the distance. "Stay with me," she whispers, her voice barely audible over the storm. "Please, stay with me." The man's eyes flutter open. He looks at her with recognition she doesn't understand. Then his gaze drops to the silver phoenix pendant hanging from her neck. His lips move, forming words she can't hear. Then his hand goes limp. Amara pulls back, gasping. The paramedics arrive, pushing her aside, but she's frozen. Her white nurse's uniform is soaked in rainwater and blood. She doesn't know this man. She's never seen him before. But the way he looked at her, like he knew her, sends ice down her spine. That was 3 hours ago. Now she sits in the hospital break room, still in her stained uniform, staring at her trembling hands. Her phone buzzes. Another message from her mother. "Come home soon. We need to talk." Amara closes her eyes. Her mother always needs to talk lately, ever since the diagnosis, ever since the cancer came back. Ever since Lindy started saying things that didn't make sense, about the past, about secrets, about a man Amara's father supposedly was. She pushes herself up and heads to the locker room. In 6 hours, she has another shift at the cafe. Sleep isn't an option anymore. It hasn't been for months. The hospital corridors are quieter now, just after midnight. Amara walks past rooms where families keep vigil, where machines beep steady rhythms of life and death. She's seen it all, the tearful reunions, the devastating goodbyes, the moment when hope breaks. She thought she was numb to it. But tonight, that stranger's face won't leave her mind. Outside, the rain has softened to a drizzle. Amara pulls her jacket tight and starts the long walk home through Gangnam's glittering streets. Luxury cars purr past her. High-rise buildings pierce the night sky like glass monuments to wealth she'll never touch. This city has been her home for 5 years, but she's never belonged to it. She thinks about Johannesburg sometimes. The warmth, the chaos, the way her mother used to laugh before the sadness settled into her bones. They left when Amara was 13, and Lindy never explained why. Just packed 2 suitcases in the middle of the night and bought one-way tickets to Seoul. "We're starting over," Lindy had said, "and we never look back." But lately, her mother does nothing but look back. Amara reaches their small apartment in Mapogu just before 1 in the morning. The lights are still on. Her mother never sleeps anymore either. "Amara?" Lindy's voice calls from the bedroom. "Is that you?" "It's me, Mama." She finds her mother propped up against pillows, wrapped in the purple blanket Amara bought her last winter. Lindy looks smaller every day, her skin stretched thin over her bones, her eyes too large in her face. But those eyes are sharp tonight, burning with something Amara hasn't seen in months. Fear. "Sit down," Lindy says. "Please." Amara perches on the edge of the bed. "Mama, you should be resting." "I saw the news, the shooting in Myeongdong. You were there." "I'm fine. I helped someone until the paramedics came." "You need to be careful." Lindy grabs her daughter's hand, squeezing with surprising strength. "Powerful men, they're dangerous. They destroy everything they touch." "Mama, please, you're not making sense again." "I make perfect sense." Lindy's voice hardens. "I've made sense your whole life, even when you thought I was crazy for dragging you halfway across the world. I did it to protect you." "Protect me from what?" But Lindy just shakes her head, and releases Amara's hand. Get some sleep. We'll talk in the morning. Amara wants to press, but the exhaustion crashes over her like a wave. She retreats to her tiny room, strips off her stained uniform, and collapses onto her bed. Sleep comes fast and dark. She dreams of fire, of a warehouse burning, of a woman running through smoke, clutching her pregnant belly, screaming a name Amara can't quite hear. When she wakes, sunlight streams through her window and her phone is buzzing. She grabs it, expecting her cafe manager. Instead, it's an unknown number. She almost ignores it, but something makes her answer. Hello? Is this Amara Zulu? A man's voice, professional, cold. Yes, who is this? My name is Detective Yoon Seok Kim. I'm investigating last night's shooting. I understand you were present at the scene. Amara sits up. I gave my statement to the officers there. I know. I need to ask you a few more questions. Can you come to the station today? I have work. This won't take long. Please, Miss Zulu, it's important. Something in his tone makes her agree. 2 hours later, she's sitting in a gray interrogation room at the Seoul Metropolitan Police Agency, watching Detective Kim arrange photographs on the table between them. Do you recognize any of these men? He asks. Amara scans the photos. Most are strangers. Then her breath catches. The man from last night, the one who bled out in her arms, stares back at her from one of the images. Him, she says. I tried to save him. Did he? He died in surgery. Detective Kim's expression doesn't change. His name was Park Ji-hoon. He worked security for a prominent businessman here in Seoul. We believe he was targeted. Why are you telling me this? Because 3 witnesses said Ji-hoon spoke to you before he died. They said he seemed to recognize you. Amara's chest tightens. I've never seen him before last night. Are you certain? Detective Kim leans forward. Think carefully, Miss Zulu. This could be important. She closes her eyes, forcing herself back to that moment. The rain. The blood. The way Ji-hoon looked at her pendant. His lips moving, trying to form words. He said something, she admits. I couldn't hear it clearly, but he looked at my necklace. This one. She pulls the phoenix pendant from beneath her shirt. Detective Kim's eyes narrow. Where did you get that? It was my mother's. She gave it to me when I turned 18. And your mother, where is she from originally? Johannesburg. We moved here 5 years ago. Why does this matter? The detective doesn't answer. Instead, he pulls out another photograph and slides it across the table. Amara's world tilts. The man in the photo is standing at what looks like a corporate event. He's tall, broad-shouldered, wearing an expensive suit. His face is handsome but cold, carved from stone and shadows. And on his wrist, visible as his sleeve rides up while he shakes someone's hand, is a tattoo. A phoenix, rising from flames. Identical to the one hidden beneath her mother's collarbone. The one Amara has only seen twice in her life. Once by accident, when she was a child, and once last year, when helping Lindy Wei change after chemotherapy. Who is this? Amara asks, though her voice sounds far away. Dr. Min-jun Kang, one of Seoul's most influential businessmen. Officially, he runs a medical supply empire. Unofficially, Detective Kim pauses. Let's just say his family has a complicated history. Ji-hoon worked for him. Why are you showing me this? Because Ji-hoon's last words, according to one witness who could read lips, were, "Tell Kang, the daughter, she's here." Detective Kim taps the photo. Do you know Dr. Kang, Miss Zulu? No? Has your mother ever mentioned him? No. But even as Amara says it, doubt creeps in. All those nights her mother woke screaming from nightmares. All those times Lindiwe warned her about powerful men, about staying invisible, about never drawing attention. All those questions about Amara's father that were met with silence. "I need to go," Amara says, standing abruptly. "Miss Zulu? Am I being charged with something?" "No, but..." "Then I'm leaving." She walks out before he can stop her, her mind spinning. On the street, she pulls out her phone and searches for Dr. Minjun Kang. The results flood her screen. Hundreds of articles, photos, news reports. He's everywhere. Charity galas, business summits, grand openings. Always surrounded by security. Always wearing that same cold expression. She clicks on an image from a medical conference 2 months ago. Zooms in on his wrist. The phoenix tattoo is clearly visible, detailed and deliberate. Not just similar to her mother's, identical. The same curved wings, the same flames, the same design. Amara's hands shake. She calls her mother. No answer. She calls again. Nothing. Panic rising, she runs to the nearest subway station and takes the train back to Mapogu. The ride feels endless. When she finally bursts through their apartment door, her mother is sitting at the kitchen table, staring at nothing. "Mama?" Lindiwe doesn't look up. "Mama, I need to ask you something." Amara pulls out her phone, brings up the photo of Minjun Kang. "Do you know this man?" The color drains from Lindiwe's face. For a moment, she doesn't breathe. Then she starts to cry. Quiet, broken sobs that shake her frail body. "Mama, please, tell me the truth. Who is he?" Lindiwe reaches up and touches the phoenix pendant around Amara's neck. "He gave me this," she whispers. 23 years ago, in Johannesburg, before everything burned." Amara sinks into the chair across from her mother. "Start from the beginning, please." And finally, after years of silence, Lindiwe speaks. She was 24 when she met Minjun Kang. He was 26, visiting Johannesburg on business with his uncle, Jae-woo Kang, who ran the family's international operations. Lindiwe was working as a translator for a medical equipment distributor. Minjun walked into her office looking for directions, and she made him laugh, something his uncle said he never did. "We were supposed to be impossible," Lindiwe says, her voice distant, lost in memory. "Different worlds, different cultures. His family would never accept me. But Minjun didn't care. He was different then, softer. He believed in love like it was religion." They met in secret for 6 months. Expensive hotel rooms, quiet restaurants outside the city, stolen moments that felt like entire lifetimes. Minjun gave her the phoenix pendant on the night he proposed. "He said we were like the phoenix," Lindiwe continues. "Born from different fires, but rising together. He promised we'd find a way." But his uncle found out. Jae-woo Kang saw Lindiwe as a threat, a distraction that would weaken Minjun, make him vulnerable, ruin the family's carefully laid plans. He gave his nephew an ultimatum: end it or lose everything. Minjun refused. "So his uncle arranged an accident." Lindiwe's voice breaks. "There was a warehouse. Minjun stored medical supplies there. Jae-woo said he needed to inspect something, asked Minjun to meet him after hours. But he told me to come too. Said he wanted to make peace." Amara's throat tightens. "What happened?" "It was a trap. They locked Minjun in the office, then they set the fire. I was supposed to be inside too, but I was late. I saw the smoke from the street, heard Minjun screaming my name. I tried to get to him, but the explosion..." Lindiwe touches her stomach, where Amara knows a scar runs across her abdomen. "I woke up 3 days later in a hospital. They said I'd been found unconscious outside the warehouse. The doctors said I was lucky. Lucky that I'd survived. Lucky that the baby survived. I was the baby, Amara whispers. You were the baby, and Minjun, they told me he was dead. Burned beyond recognition. His uncle came to my hospital room and said if I ever spoke about what happened, if I ever tried to claim you were Minjun's daughter, he'd make sure we both disappeared. So I ran. I took you and I ran. But he's not dead. Minjun is alive? Lindiwe looks up, tears streaming down her face. What? Amara shows her the photos, the articles, everything. Lindiwe's hands tremble as she scrolls through them, seeing the face she loved transformed by 20 years of grief and rage. They lied to me, she whispers. They told me you were dead. They said I'd killed him by being there. I've lived with that guilt every day. Every single day. Did he know about me? I was only 6 weeks pregnant. I hadn't told him yet. I was going to tell him that night at the warehouse. But then, her voice breaks completely. He doesn't know, Amara. He has no idea you exist. Amara stands, pacing the small kitchen. Her father is alive. Her father is one of the most powerful men in Seoul. Her father has no idea she exists. We have to tell him, she says. No. Lindiwe grabs her arm. No, Amara. You don't understand what these people are capable of. His uncle tried to kill us both. The family. They're dangerous. His uncle would be old now, maybe even dead. Men like that don't die. They multiply. They teach others to be just as cruel. Lindiwe's grip tightens. Promise me you'll stay away from him. Promise me. But Amara can't promise. Won't promise. Because for 22 years, she's been half a person, defined by an absence she couldn't name. And now the absence has a face, a name, a tattoo that matches her mother's. I'm sorry, Mama, she says gently, pulling away. But I have to know. Over the next 3 days, Amara becomes obsessed. She researches everything about Min Jun Kang, his business empire, his public appearances, his reputation as Seoul's most eligible bachelor, who never dates, never smiles, never seems to feel anything at all. She finds articles about his family, the Kang dynasty that built its fortune on medical supplies, and allegedly less legal enterprises. His uncle Jae-woo died 5 years ago. Good. But Jae-woo had a son, Han-soo Kang, who took over the family's shadowy operations. Han-soo is currently serving time for assault and racketeering, but he's due for release soon. More ghosts. More dangers. Amara doesn't care. She creates a plan. Min Jun is scheduled to attend a charity gala at the Lotte Hotel World on Saturday night, a benefit for children's cancer research. Tickets are invitation only, but Amara knows someone who can help. You want me to do what? Ji-won, her co-worker at the cafe, stares at her like she's lost her mind. Your boyfriend works hotel security. He can get me into the service entrance. Amara, this is insane. Why do you want to crash some rich people's party? I can't explain. Please, Ji-won, I need this. Something in her desperation must show, because Ji-won sighs and pulls out her phone. I'll ask. But you owe me a month of closing shifts. Done. Saturday arrives with the weight of inevitability. Amara borrows a black dress from Ji-won, does her makeup carefully, and takes the subway to Jamsil. The Lotte Hotel towers above her, glittering with wealth and power. She meets Ji-won's boyfriend, Tae-sung, at the service entrance. 10 minutes, he says. That's all I can give you. The security sweep happens every 15 minutes. Get in, do whatever crazy thing you're planning, and get out. Thank you. He scans his badge, and the door clicks open. Amara slips inside, into the bright fluorescent world of hotel operations. She follows the sounds of music and laughter, climbing a service stairway that leads to the second-floor ballroom. Through a door marked, Staff Only, She emerges into elegance. The gala is stunning. Crystal chandeliers, string quartet, tables draped in white silk and adorned with orchids. Seoul's elite move through the space like beautiful predators, dressed in designer everything, drinking champagne that costs more than Amara's monthly rent. She doesn't belong here. Every part of her screams it, but she pushes forward, scanning faces, looking for one specific face. Then she sees him. Minjun Kang stands near the back of the ballroom, talking to two other men in suits. Even from across the room, his presence is magnetic. He's taller than she expected. More real. She studied his photos obsessively. But seeing him in person rewires something fundamental in her understanding of reality. That's my father. The thought hits her like electricity. She starts walking toward him before she can second-guess herself. But halfway across the ballroom, someone steps into her path. "Excuse me, miss. May I see your invitation?" A security guard. Young, professional, blocking her way with practiced politeness. I'm with the catering staff," Amara lies. "I was just bringing—" The catering staff uses the kitchen entrance. This is the guest area. His hand moves to his radio. "I'm going to need you to come with me." Panic flares. She's going to be escorted out. She's going to lose her chance. She looks past the guard to where Minjun stands, and their eyes meet. For 3 seconds, the world stops. Minjun sees her. Really sees her. His expression doesn't change, but something shifts behind his eyes. Recognition, confusion, something. Then his gaze drops to her neck, to the phoenix pendant hanging there. He goes completely still. The security guard is talking to her, but Amara doesn't hear him. She's locked in Minjun's stare, watching color drain from his face like he's seen a ghost. He takes a step toward her, then another. The men he was talking to look confused. "Sir?" one of them says. Minjun ignores them. He's walking toward Amara now, cutting through the crowd with single-minded focus. The security guard notices and immediately steps back. "Sir, I was just—" "Leave us," Minjun says quietly. His voice is deeper than Amara expected. Rougher. The guard disappears. The two men Minjun was talking to exchange glances but stay back. And then, it's just Amara and her father, standing 3 feet apart in a ballroom full of strangers. "Where did you get that?" Minjun asks, nodding at the pendant. His composure is cracking at the edges. "It was my mother's." "Who is your mother?" Amara's heart hammers against her ribs. Lindiwe Zulu. She watches the name hit him like a bullet. He actually staggers back a step. One hand comes up to his chest, pressing against his heart. For a moment, she thinks he might collapse. "That's impossible," he whispers. "She's dead. She died 22 years ago." "She's alive. We've been in Seoul for 5 years." No, that can't." His eyes are wild now, searching her face. "Who are you?" "My name is Amara Zulu." She takes a breath. "I'm your daughter." The words hang in the air between them. Around them, the gala continues. Laughter, music, clinking glasses. But in their small bubble of space, time has stopped. Minjun's mouth opens, closes. He looks at her like he's trying to reassemble a shattered world. Then his sleeve rides up as he reaches toward her, and she sees it. The phoenix tattoo. Exactly like her mother's. Exactly like the design on her pendant. "Oh my God," he breathes. "You're real. You're real." "I'm real." "Lindiwe is alive?" "Yes." "She's here? In Seoul?" "Yes." "I have a daughter." He says it like he's testing the words, seeing if they'll hold weight. "I have a daughter." "How old?" 22. I was born 7 months after the fire. His eyes fill with tears. Amara has never seen a man look so broken and remade at the same time. He starts to reach for her, then stops. Himself, like he's afraid she'll disappear. "I looked for her," he says. "After I got out of the hospital. I looked everywhere. They told me she left Johannesburg. I thought she blamed me for what happened, for almost getting her killed. I thought she hated me. She thought you were dead. Your uncle told her you died in the fire. He threatened us. We ran." "My uncle?" Something dark crosses Minjun's face. "Of course. Jaewoo, he always—" He stops, takes a shaking breath. "I need to see her. Lindiwe. Where is she?" "She's scared. She didn't want me to come here tonight. She's afraid of your family." "She should be." Minjun's voice hardens. "But I'm not my uncle. I'm not my father. And I will never, ever let anyone hurt either of you again. Please, tell me where she is." Amara hesitates. This was supposed to be reconnaissance. A chance to see if the man from the photos was someone worth knowing. But standing here, looking into his desperate eyes, seeing the tattoo that matches her mother's, feeling the pull of blood and destiny. "She's dying," Amara says quietly. "Cancer. The doctors say she has maybe 6 months." Minjun's face crumples. "No. That's why I came. She won't tell you herself. She's too afraid. But I thought—" Her voice cracks. "I thought you deserved to know, before it's too late. I thought we all deserve to know each other." "Yes." Minjun wipes his eyes roughly. "Yes. Please, give me your address, or a phone number. Anything. I'll come whenever you want. However you want. Just please don't disappear again." Amara pulls out her phone with trembling hands. They exchange numbers. In that moment, surrounded by Seoul's elite at a charity gala neither of them cares about, a family reassembles itself. "I'll call you tomorrow," Minjun says. "If that's okay, we'll figure this out. I promise. I swear on my life, I'm going to make this right." "Okay." She wants to say more, so much more. But Taesung appears at her elbow, looking panicked. "You need to leave, now. Shift change happening." Amara nods, looks at Minjun one last time. "Tomorrow." "Tomorrow." She lets Taesung guide her out of the ballroom, back through the service corridors, out into the cool Seoul night. She makes it half a block before her legs give out, and she sinks onto a bench, shaking. I just met my father. The reality of it crashes over her in waves. She pulls out her phone and calls her mother. "Amara? Where are you? I've been worried sick." "I met him, Mama. I met Minjun." Silence, then quietly. "And?" "He thought you were dead. He's been alone this whole time, thinking you were dead and hating himself." "Mama, we have to see him. He wants to see you." I can't face him after all these years." "You don't have a choice. None of us do." Amara's voice firms. "He's coming tomorrow. You're going to see him. And we're going to be a family, even if it's only for the time we have left." She hangs up before her mother can protest. For the first time in months, something that isn't exhaustion or grief fills her chest. Hope. But hope, as she'll learn in the coming days, is a dangerous thing. Because while she was meeting her father, while she was reassembling the broken pieces of her family's past, other forces were already moving. Han Soo-kang, Minjun's cousin, walked out of prison that same night. And the first thing he did was make a phone call. "He's found them," he told someone on the other end. "The woman and the daughter. After all these years, my father was right. They're a weakness, and weaknesses need to be cut out." The clock was ticking. Amara just didn't know it yet. Sunday morning arrives bright and cold. Amara wakes early, her mind racing. She cleans the apartment obsessively, preparing for a visit that feels both inevitable and impossible. Her mother watches from the couch, wrapped in her purple blanket, saying nothing. At exactly 10 o'clock, the doorbell rings. Amara opens it to find Min-jun standing in the hallway. He's dressed casually, jeans and a sweater. But even in normal clothes, he carries himself like royalty. Behind him stand two large men in dark suits. Security. "They stay outside," Min-jun says quickly, reading her expression. "Just a precaution. I hope that's okay." "It's fine. Come in." He steps inside, and immediately his eyes find Lindiwei on the couch. The world stops again. These two people who loved each other so desperately, who lost each other so completely, just stare. Then Lindiwei stands, and the blanket falls away. Min-jun sees how thin she is, how sick. His composure shatters. "Lindiwei!" he chokes out. "Min-jun!" They move toward each other like magnets. When they touch, when Min-jun pulls her into his arms and she dissolves into tears against his chest, Amara has to look away. This grief, this joy, this reunion, it's too raw, too private. "I thought you were dead," Lindiwei sobs. "They told me you were dead. I thought you left me. I thought you hated me for what happened. Never, never. I've loved you every single day." They hold each other for a long time. Amara moves to the kitchen, making tea no one will drink, giving them space. When she returns, they're sitting on the couch, hands intertwined, tears still falling. "Amara?" Min-jun says, reaching out to her. "Come, here. Please." She sits on his other side. He puts his arm around her shoulders, and she leans into him. This stranger who's her father. This man who feels impossibly familiar. "We have to talk about safety," Min-jun says after a moment. "My cousin Han-soo was released from prison yesterday. He's dangerous. He believes I betrayed the family by refusing to follow my uncle's path. If he finds out about you both..." "How would he find out?" Amara asks. "I don't know, but I left the gala last night shaken. People noticed. Questions are being asked." He turns to Lindiwei. "I want to move you somewhere safe. Both of you. A secure building. Full-time protection." "No," Lindiwei says firmly. "We're not going into hiding. Not again. I've spent 22 years running, Min-jun. I won't spend my last months in a cage. Then let me assign security here. No armed men following my daughter around. No." "Mama." "No, Amara. I mean it. We live carefully. We're aware. But we live." She looks at Min-jun. "I didn't survive that fire just to spend the rest of my life afraid." Min-jun looks like he wants to argue, but he sees the steel in her eyes and recognizes it. This is the woman who ran through a burning warehouse trying to save him. The woman who survived an explosion while pregnant. The woman who rebuilt a life from ashes. "At least let me hire a security consultant," he compromises. "Someone to assess vulnerabilities, and I want both of you to carry panic buttons. If anything happens, anything, you press it and help comes immediately." Lindiwei considers this. Finally nods. "Okay." They spend the rest of the day talking. Min-jun tells them about the fire, how his uncle's men locked him in the office, how the smoke nearly killed him, how he woke up in a hospital bed 3 weeks later to find everyone he loved had disappeared. He tells them about the years of searching, the grief, the slow transformation into someone harder, colder. "I stopped believing in anything soft," he says quietly. "I thought love had died with you. So I became exactly what my uncle wanted, ruthless, focused, dangerous. I built an empire, but I buried myself building it." Lindiwei touches his face. "You're still in there. I can see you. Maybe, because of you, because of her." He looks at Amara. "I want to know everything. Tell me about her childhood. Tell me about Seoul. Tell me everything I missed." "So they do." Lindiwe talks about Johannesburg, about teaching Amara to read in 2 languages, about the decision to move to Seoul when the past felt too close. Amara shares memories. School, nursing school, her dream of opening a free clinic someday. Small stories, ordinary stories. The building blocks of a life Minjun should have been part of. When evening comes, he doesn't want to leave. But finally, reluctantly, he stands. "I'll come back tomorrow," he says. "And the day after. Every day if you'll have me. I've lost 22 years. I'm not losing another moment." After he leaves, Amara and Lindiwe sit in silence for a while. "Are you okay?" Amara asks. "I don't know. I feel like I'm dreaming." Lindiwe touches the phoenix pendant around her neck. "But if this is a dream, I don't want to wake up." The next few weeks pass in a strange, suspended happiness. Minjun visits every day, bringing flowers, bringing food, bringing pieces of himself he hasn't shown anyone in decades. He laughs more, softens. The ice in his eyes melts. He takes them to dinner at restaurants where the staff bows and calls him sir. He shows Amara his offices, his hospitals, the medical research facilities he funds. He holds Lindiwe's hand through chemotherapy appointments, and Amara watches her father discover what it means to be helpless in the face of illness. "I can buy the best doctors," he says one night after a particularly difficult treatment. "I can fund research, but I can't stop this. I can't save her." "No one can," Amara says gently. "We just have to be here. That's all she needs." "It's not enough." "It's everything." A month passes, then 6 weeks. The security consultant Minjun hired finds no threats. Hansu has disappeared into Seoul's underworld, apparently focused on rebuilding his criminal operations, not settling family scores. Maybe they're safe. Maybe the past is really past. Amara starts to believe it, starts to imagine a future where her mother gets better, where they're a real family, where decades of pain transform into years of peace. Then, on a Tuesday night, everything explodes again. Amara is walking home from her cafe shift when she notices the car. Black sedan, tinted windows, following her 3 turns in a row. Her heart starts to pound. She pulls out her phone, fingers hovering over the panic button Minjun gave her. The car speeds up, pulls alongside her. The window rolls down. Gunshots. Amara drops, screaming. The bullets hit the storefront behind her, glass shattering. People scatter. The car screeches away, and Amara lies on the sidewalk, unhurt but shaking, as sirens wail in the distance. The police arrive first, then Minjun, pale and terrified. He pulls Amara into his arms, checking her for injuries. I'm okay. They missed." "They weren't trying to hit you," Detective Kim says, appearing from the crowd. "They were sending a message." "Hansu," Minjun says darkly. "We'll bring him in for questioning." "But without evidence?" "I don't need evidence." Minjun's voice is ice. "I need my family safe, tonight, now." He doesn't give Amara or Lindiwe a choice this time. Within an hour, they're in his penthouse in Gangnam, a fortress of steel and glass with security that could protect a president. Armed guards patrol the floors. Cameras watch every angle. Minjun paces like a caged animal. "He's declaring war," he mutters. "Hansu is declaring war." "Then we end it," Amara says. They both turn to her. "We end it by telling the truth. All of it. What Jae-woo did. How he tried to kill you and Mama. Everything. We expose it." "That won't stop Hansu," Minjun says. "His father is dead. He doesn't care about reputation." "Then what does he care about?" Minjun and Detective Kim exchange glances. "Revenge," the detective says quietly. He blames Minjun for his father's death. Jae-woo died of a heart attack 5 years ago, but it happened right after Min-jun cut all ties with the family's illegal operations. Han-soo believes the stress killed him. So Han-soo wants you dead, Amara says. Yes. And killing us would hurt you first. Yes. Amara stands. Then we give him what he wants. Absolutely not. Not actually. We use ourselves as bait. Set a trap. End this. Amara, no, I won't risk you. You don't have a choice. He's already hunting us. At least this way, we control the battlefield. Lindiwei, who's been silent, speaks up. She's right. Min-jun, we can't hide forever. I don't have forever. We need to finish this. I can't lose you again. Either of you. You won't. Amara takes his hand. Because we're going to be smart and careful, and we're going to end the cycle your uncle started 22 years ago. It takes 3 days to plan. Detective Kim coordinates with Min-jun's security team. They choose the location, an old port warehouse in Busan, similar to where everything began in Johannesburg. Symbolic, deliberate. They leak information through carefully chosen channels, letting Han-soo know that Min-jun will be there, alone, waiting to negotiate. They set up surveillance, position backup, prepare for violence while hoping for resolution. On Friday night, they drive to Busan. Rain falls steadily, turning the empty port into a ghost town. The warehouse looms ahead, all rusted metal and broken windows. Min-jun parks outside. Last chance to change your mind, he says. We're doing this, Amara replies. They get out. Security teams position themselves in shadows. Amara and Lindiwei hide in a container across from the warehouse, watching through a crack in the door. Min-jun walks inside alone. For 10 minutes, nothing happens. Then headlights cut through the darkness. 2 cars, 8 men, and in the center, Han-soo Kang. He's shorter than Amara expected, thin, but there's something rabid in the way he moves, like violence is always just beneath his skin. He enters the warehouse. Amara sees Min-jun turn to face him. You came, Han-soo says. His voice carries across the empty space. You wanted to talk. Let's talk. There's nothing to talk about. My father is dead because of you. You betrayed the family. Betrayed everything we built. Your father tried to kill me, Han-soo. He tried to kill the woman I loved. Whatever we built was poison. That woman, Han-soo laughs. The one you've been hiding? And the daughter? You think I don't know? You think I don't have eyes everywhere? If you touch them, you'll what? You're not the scary one anymore, cousin. You went soft, started playing by rules. Rules are for weak men. Han-soo pulls out a gun. My father was right. You're a weakness, and weaknesses need to be cut out. Min-jun doesn't move. You're not going to shoot me. No? No, because you're smarter than this. You know killing me brings the full weight of law enforcement down on you. Detective Kim is already watching. You shoot me, you're done. Maybe I'm okay with that. Maybe ending you is worth it. Maybe. Min-jun's voice softens. Or maybe you're just tired, Han-soo. Tired of carrying hate your father gave you. Tired of fighting a war that should have ended decades ago. For a moment, something flickers in Han-soo's eyes. Doubt. Pain. But then it hardens again. Nice speech, but I'm still going to kill you. And then I'm going to find that woman and that daughter, and I'm going to finish what my father started. That's when Amara steps out of the container. No, she calls across the empty port. You're not. Every man with a gun turns toward her. Min-jun's face goes white with terror. Amara, get back! No! She walks toward the warehouse, hands raised, unarmed. Lindiwei follows her, moving slowly, leaning on her daughter for support. You want to know the truth, Hansu? Let me tell you. She pulls out a folder. Copies of old reports, witness statements, medical records. Everything Detective Kim helped her compile over the past 3 days. Your father tried to murder mine 22 years ago. Locked him in a warehouse and set it on fire because he loved someone you all thought was beneath him. My mother almost died. I should have died. And for what? Control? Power? Pride? She reaches the warehouse entrance. Hansu's gun is now pointed at her. Your father died of guilt, Amara continues. Not stress. Guilt. Because he knew what he'd done was evil, and he spent 20 years watching his nephew become everything he'd tried to destroy. Successful, principled, clean. That guilt ate him alive. You don't know what you're talking about? I know you've spent your whole life trying to be him, trying to prove you're strong enough, cruel enough, worthy of the family name. But look at you, standing in a warehouse pointing a gun at an unarmed woman and her dying mother. You think that makes you strong? Hansu's hand shakes. Shut up. You're not your father. You don't have to be. You can end this, right here, right now. You can be the one who breaks the cycle. And if I don't, then you kill us and spend the rest of your life in prison and die alone, forgotten, just another violent man in a long line of violent men. Is that really what you want? The rain falls harder. Hansu's gun wavers. In his eyes, Amara sees a little boy trying desperately to live up to a monster's legacy. She sees the same pain that lived in her mother's eyes for 22 years, the same rage that hardened her father's heart. We're all victims of this, she says softly. All of us. Your father hurt mine. Mine hurt my mother. My mother hurt me by keeping secrets. Around and around. But it ends tonight. Please, let it end. Hansu lowers the gun. Slowly, his face crumples. He told me I had to be strong. He whispers. Had to avenge him. Had to. You don't. Amara steps closer. You just have to be human. That's all. Just be human. The gun falls from his hand, clattering on the concrete. Hansu sinks to his knees, and for the first time in years he cries. His men look uncertain, but none of them move. Detective Kim emerges from the shadows with a team of officers. They secure the scene, handcuff Hansu's men. But they let Hansu himself sit there, weeping, for a long moment before approaching. Am I going back to prison? He asks numbly. Yes, Detective Kim says, but what you do with your time there is your choice. Change or don't, that's on you. They lead him away, and suddenly, it's over. 22 years of violence, revenge, and grief. Over. Just like that. Minjun pulls Amara and Lindiwei into his arms, holding them so tightly neither can breathe. Don't ever do that again, either of you. Don't ever. It's over, Lindiwei says. It's finally over. And it is. The next 6 months pass like a dream. Minjun moves them into his penthouse properly, converting entire rooms for Lindiwei's care. She grows weaker, but happier. Surrounded by family. Surrounded by love. Amara cuts back on work to spend time with her mother. Minjun hires the best palliative care team in Seoul. They make every day count. On a Tuesday morning in April, Lindiwei passes away peacefully in her sleep, Minjun holding one hand and Amara holding the other. Her last words are simple. Thank you. Thank you for bringing him back. The funeral is small. Just the 3 of them who mattered. Amara, Minjun, and Lindiwei's memory. They bury her with the phoenix pendant, letting her carry it into whatever comes next. Afterward, Minjun and Amara sit in his office, exhausted and empty. What now? she asks. Now we live, he says. The way she wanted us to, fully, honestly, together. I start medical school in September. I know, I'm proud of you. I'm scared. I know, but I'll be here, every step, I promise. Amara leans against her father's shoulder. Do you think she's at peace? Yes, because of you. You gave her this. You brought us together. You saved us both. 6 months later, Amara walks across the stage at Seoul National University's medical school orientation. Minjun sits in the front row, recording every second, like the proud father he never got to be for 22 years. That night, he hosts a dinner at his penthouse. Just the two of them. He raises his glass. To your mother, to second chances, to family. To family, Amara echoes. She touches the phoenix pendant around her neck. A new one, identical to the one they buried with Lindiwei. Minjun wears his tattoo visible on his wrist. 2 phoenixes, risen from different fires, finally at peace. Because that's the thing about phoenixes. They don't rise despite the flames. They rise because of them. The burning is part of the transformation. The ashes are proof of survival. And sometimes, if you're very lucky, you get to rise together. If you enjoyed this story and want to see more like it, please hit the subscribe button, leave a comment sharing your thoughts, and give this video a like. Your support means everything and helps us bring you more powerful stories. Thank you for being here.